Hello, radiant soul of Scorpio. I want to begin today by speaking directly to that part of you that has grown so used to holding itself back that it almost feels natural now. In the part of you that learned to shrink so others would not feel uncomfortable. The part that has hidden its natural brilliance in order to maintain peace, in order to be accepted, in order to avoid the whispers of judgment that seem to follow you whenever you dared to shine too brightly. You, my Scorpio, who were born with an intensity that pierces straight through illusions, have been carrying the weight of a false version of yourself, a version trimmed and edited to fit into rooms that were never designed for your magnificence. And I know, my love, that this shrinking has not been easy. It has not been painless. Because every time you made yourself smaller to soothe someone else's insecurity, you felt the quiet ache of betrayal toward your own soul. Every time you silenced your truth, every time you dimmed your fire, every time you pretended not to see what you clearly saw, you built a prison of politeness and survival that suffocated your true essence. But Scorpio, this mask cannot hold much longer. And that is why I am here speaking these words to you. Because what is approaching before this cycle completes is a revelation that will not allow you to remain hidden. A moment so undeniable that you will have no choice but to step forward as the person you were always meant to be. And this is not a warning of loss, it is a promise of rebirth. For you have not been living small because you are weak, but because you were taught to confuse humility with self-erasure. You were convinced that protecting others from the force of your truth was an act of love. Yet Scorpio, the universe is about to show you that real love, real service, real transformation comes only when you dare to occupy your full space. This opening, this unveiling, is what we will explore together in the next moments. Because the path ahead is already trembling with signs, and the cosmos is preparing to strip away every excuse you have ever used to stay small. And Scorpio, as the veil thins and the hours of this month slip through your fingers like sand, you cannot hold. There is a pulse building in the unseen, a quiet but unstoppable momentum that will soon break open into your reality. And it will not be something you can ignore or postpone. Because this is not a subtle whisper of intuition or a gentle nudge from the cosmos. This is a revelation that will arrive like thunder, demanding that you look into the mirror without flinching. Demanding that you stop pretending you were meant to play a supporting role in your own life. Before this month draws its final breath, a situation will rise up. Perhaps in your work, perhaps in love, perhaps in the space of family, but wherever it comes, it will carry the same truth. You were never created to live in someone else's shadow. You were never born to silence your instincts just so another can feel safe. You were born to lead, to transform, to occupy a throne carved out of your own resilience and fire. This event, my beloved Scorpio, will come with force. It may shake you. It may even frighten you for a moment. Because stepping into the truth of your own destiny always feels like standing on the edge of a cliff before you learn that your wings are already strong enough to fly. You will no longer be able to make peace with half-hearted connections, with jobs that dull your brilliance, with relationships that feed you crumbs of recognition while starving your soul of the devotion it deserves. And when this revelation detonates in your life, it will feel like the universe finally drawing a line, saying with absolute clarity that the age of compromise is over, that the season of survival has ended, that the next chapter of your life will not be written in small letters on the margins of someone else's story, but in bold lines of transformation, healing, and undeniable power. You see, Scorpio, the revelation is not simply about becoming something greater. It is about remembering what you already are. It is about peeling away every mask you've ever been forced to wear. about burning every script that told you to stay quiet, and about reclaiming the sacred right to embody the fullness of your own presence. And as we continue, I will take you deeper into how this revelation will not only confront you, but also liberate you. Because the truth that is coming will not destroy you, it will set you ablaze in a way that nothing can extinguish. And Scorpio, just as the fire of revelation comes to each Leo in its own unique way, so too does the cosmos prepare a deeply personal unveiling for every soul born under your sign. For you, it is not about generic promises whispered to the collective. It is about the intimate choreography of destiny written into the day you first breathed beneath the heavens. The secret arrangement of stars that stamped your spirit with a very specific flavor of power. Those of you born in the first window of Scorpio, from October 23rd through November 2nd, will feel this revelation as a raw awakening of authority, a reclaiming of the throne you have too long left unattended. It is here that you will recognize your natural right to direct your life without apology, to walk into a room and be felt before you are seen, to no longer hesitate when leadership calls your name. For those whose birthdays fall in the middle passage, from November 3rd through November 12th, the revelation will flow in the form of magnetism, rediscovered. You will see, perhaps for the first time, without shame, that your presence alone bends reality, that your words and your silence both carry a gravitational pull that others cannot escape. This is not manipulation, Scorpio. It is the essence of your being. And when you stop dimming it, you will learn that this attraction is not a danger, but a gift, meant to draw toward you the people, the opportunities, and the truths that align with your sacred path. And to my late season Scorpios, born between November 13th and November 22nd, your revelation will arrive as the undeniable call to create, to express, to pour out what has been smoldering in the locked chambers of your soul. The universe will no longer accept your creativity as a pastime or a hidden notebook of dreams. It will press you to treat your visions as lifeblood, as the very language through which your destiny is written. What you once called a hobby, what you once feared would be judged or dismissed, will now demand to be honored as your essential contribution to the world. So, no matter the day of your birth, the current of revelation is already moving toward you. It may take the form of authority regained, magnetism unveiled, or creativity unleashed. But at its core, it is the same invitation to stop pretending you were ever meant to be ordinary, to accept the sacred truth that you, Scorpio, were born to stand in the center of transformation itself. And as this unfolds, we will step into the next chapter together, where the hidden truths long buried begin to surface, forcing you not only to see but to embody the depth of who you really are. And when this revelation finally pierces the surface of your life, Scorpio, the first thing it will do is burn away the old habit of making yourself smaller so that others might feel taller. You will no longer carry the reflex of bowing your head, of apologizing for your intensity, of swallowing your truth in order to avoid conflict. Instead, you will stand in the full height of your being and realize that to dim your light is not humility, it is self-betrayal. This shift will ripple through every corner of your life, cutting off at the root any pattern of tolerating disrespect, where once you might have endured being overlooked at work, dismissed in love, or undervalued in friendship. Now you will find an unshakable refusal rising in you, an instinct that says clearly, I will not remain where my essence is not honored. Relationships, jobs, and social ties that once fed on your silence will begin to crumble. Not because you forced them to end with anger, but because your new vibration will no longer allow them to survive. The energy of false bonds cannot breathe in the atmosphere of authenticity, and so they will fade. leaving space for connections that see you, respect you, and rise with you. And in this clearing, your true hunger will return, the hunger for greatness, the longing to build something that outlasts you, the courage to dream not just for your own satisfaction, but to leave a legacy that speaks long after your name is no longer spoken aloud. Scorpio, this is not ego, this is the sacred inheritance of your sign. The drive to dive into darkness and bring up treasures that change the world. And perhaps most importantly, this revelation will teach you the difference between the humility that empowers and the false modesty that enslaves. True humility, my love, is the act of shining so fully that others feel permission to shine as well. It is understanding that your greatness is a gift meant to elevate the collective, not a threat meant to overshadow. False humility, on the other hand, is the heavy cloak you've been wearing, the pretense that it is virtuous to live below your essence, the lie that hiding your brilliance is somehow noble. That illusion will no longer hold power over you. You will step into a balance where you can honor the source of your gifts, bow to the mystery that gave them to you, and at the same time never again apologize for being exactly as magnificent as you were created to be. And so, Scorpio, as the days of this month draw to their close, you too will stand at the threshold of two distinct eras of your existence, divided not by circumstance alone, but by the power of your own awakening. For too long, the before has defined you, those years where you lived in the shadows of your own brilliance, trimming your edges to appear softer, lowering your voice so it would not echo too loudly, asking silently for permission to simply exist. In that era, you accepted scraps of affection when your soul was starving for devotion. You remained in places where your spirit was overlooked because you believed that endurance was strength. And you convinced yourself that surviving was enough. But survival, my love, is not the destiny of Scorpio. Transformation is, and as the revelation ignites, you will feel the after begin to surge through your bones. This is not a gentle shift, not a minor adjustment, but a crossing into a new life where your very posture changes, where you no longer wait to be chosen, but step forward as the chooser, where you no longer whisper your truth, but speak it with authority, where you no longer tolerate being an option because you remember you are the priority. In this after, you will not only demand the respect that is rightfully yours, you will embody it so fully that it is impossible for others to treat you as anything less. The spaces that once confined you will no longer be able to contain your power, and the talents you once hid in silence will blaze out into the world, unmistakable, undeniable, unstoppable. Scorpio, this division is not abstract. It will be felt in the smallest and the greatest of ways. A conversation where you refuse to downplay your achievements, a relationship where you finally walk away from mediocrity, a career step where you claim the leadership role that always should have been yours. These are not isolated acts, they are the markers of your new era. Signs that the time of shrinking has ended and the age of sovereignty has begun. And when you look back, you will see clearly there was life before the revelation, and there is life after. The first taught you what it meant to lose yourself. The second will show you the unshakable joy of finding yourself again, whole, radiant, and unafraid. My beloved Scorpio, as we arrive at the closing of this message, I want you to breathe deeply and recognize the shift that has already begun within you. The revelation is not something waiting in the far distance, it is alive in your body even now, moving through your chest like fire and through your mind like lightning, whispering that you were never meant to live in fragments or to apologize for your intensity. The universe has been watching every silent sacrifice, every moment you swallowed your truth, every night you questioned your worth. And it declares with certainty that chapter is finished. From this moment forward, You are not simply surviving, you are rising into the throne of your own destiny. You will no longer make yourself small to be tolerated. You will stand tall to be respected. You will no longer wait for the validation of those who never truly saw you. You will mirror your worth back to yourself until the world has no choice but to respond. The cosmos itself is conspiring to lift you into alignment with the life you were born to live, a life of power, intimacy, vision, and fearless transformation. Scorpio, your story is not ending here. It is beginning anew. The before will be remembered as the time you tested your strength in silence. The after will be remembered as the time you unleashed it without fear. So step forward, claim the space that is yours, and trust that the universe has already paved the road beneath your feet. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are exactly on time. And this is your moment to shine with the ferocity that only Scorpio can bring. And so I leave you with this truth. You do not need permission to exist as your fullest self. You are the permissions. You are the fire. You are the revelation. And the world is ready to feel the power of your return.